Visiting with Huell Hauser is made possible through a generous grant from the Ralph M. Parsons Foundation.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and you know, an interesting thing happened to me the other day when I was doing my shopping here at Pavilions, which is my local grocery store on the corner of Vine and Melrose here in Hollywood. Now, when I'm shopping inside, usually, it's not that unusual for me to end up meeting and having conversations with some fellow shoppers. But on this particular day, it was a little unusual because during my shopping experience, I ended up meeting two different women, both of whom came up to me and suggested that I visit their places of business that they thought where they worked would make a good story. Well, they both gave me their business cards, and both of these places where they work sound like interesting places. So what we're going to do on this particular adventure, we're going to follow up on those two invitations I got the other day inside the grocery store. I have absolutely no idea how this adventure is going to turn out, but it all started in the grocery store, and it should be a lot of fun. Here we go on this open-ended, we don't know how it's going to end up, adventure. The adventure continues. We have left the pawn shop on Melrose, and now we've come out to North Hollywood. We're on Satacoy Street. I got the business card you gave me. You handed it to me in the grocery store, didn't you?
And I'm glad you kept it, and I'm glad you called me, Huell.
All right, now, I don't even know your name. Here it is on the card. Introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Lisa Schulte. I'm the owner of Knights of Neon.
Yes, but wait a minute. That's not the way you introduced yourself to me in the grocery store.
All right, I'm being a little shy right now.
What did you do?
Huell, I am the Neon Queen.
She introduced herself to me as the Queen of Neon. Now that got my attention.
I thought it would.
I've got the business card, so I'm here, and we're here. There it is. The name of the company is Knights of Neon. I've already peeked inside. There is a lot of beautiful neon in there. So let's don't stand out here in the bright sun.
Let's see some lights.
Let's see some neon lights inside with our tour guide, the Queen of Neon. Here we go. Lots of neon, lots of neon. Boy, your neon makes a statement. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty right away here, Lisa. What is all of this?
Well, what you're looking at is a collection of neon over the last 28 years that I've, either collected as vintage and rescued signs off of buildings, or I've designed them myself.
What's the business? We saw a big truck from Paramount out front when we got here.
Yeah, we'd like to see a lot more of those. A lot more movies in town would be nice. We're a prop house. So if Paramount is doing a film over on their back lot, and let's say they need Chinatown, as you know from being on the back lot, there's nothing but the buildings. So they will come to places like this to rent all the different signs and make it feel like it's really, whether it may be a casino that we're doing or a girls bar or...
Now, do you make these custom made for them, or are there most of them already here and they rent them already?
I'd say that 50% is rental and the other 50% is custom fabrication.
So you can make the signs
Yeah,
here.
we make it here.
Now, do you make them for people other than movie studios?
Well, we do an awful lot of music videos and live stages. We've done Academy Award shows. We've done restaurants. We've done private parties for people.
And you got your start, and I just found this out, in a very interesting and historic way.
Yes, I did. Yeah, no, it was during the Olympics, and I was working on a design team and creating events during that period. They were here for a couple of weeks.
The 1984 Olympics.
Okay, you're dating me now.
Come on, let's walk through here.
And so I designed a whole bunch of events with it, and I thought I could find a company to do it for me. And lo and behold, there was nobody doing this. So, I had to pull it off, and it was a great success. And then I decided, well, maybe I should start a company.
So when you started putting together events for the 1984 Olympics, you couldn't find anybody who did neon for your events.
Well, I could find people that did neon, but they did neon signs, and there were a bunch of old people, making signs, and I was doing 10-foot towers with neon shooting out of them, and it was just for a night. It wasn't a permanent installation.
So this gave you the idea.
Gave me the idea.
Look at all of this.
I
And you know
know.
what? I love neon, but when you see it like this,
I know, isn't it beautiful?
it is just
I know.
spectacular.
I know. I'm so, to come every day and work around this stuff, and
What is it
everybody
about-
reacts to
Look
it.
at this over here. What is it about neon that so captivates people?
Well, I mean, it's nostalgic too. I mean, I think people see it and then remember when they were young, the neon signs in their little towns, and
They don't make real neon signs much anymore. They're these new kind of,
yeah, the LEDs
what do you call
and
Yeah,
the plastic
LED.
signs. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty cool, but I don't think it's ever going away. I mean, everybody asks me that question, and I'm still here, and it's still going great.
Look at this. Now, this is an old one.
Yeah,
Or was
that's-
it just meant to look
Well,
old?
this particular one, we aged and scenic down to look
Ah,
old,
so
but
you
we
tricked
do have,
us.
we tricked you, yes.
And look at the butterfly. Now, what would you use something like this for?
Well-
What's the purpose of this?
Okay, well, this butterfly I made for Mariah Carey for a music video for her. So it was featured in the whole music video as a backdrop for her.
And what are you doing with it back here now?
Well, I guess it's mine now.
Looking
because
for somebody to rent a big butterfly.
I don't know. Yeah, anybody who need a big butterfly out there. She never picked it up, so it's it's just it's part of my collection now.
Wow, your ever-growing
My
collection.
ever-growing collection.
Because, I mean, here you got circles. What's this about?
This was probably it animates and chases, and it was probably made for a movie.
So some of this is more complicated than others.
Absolutely.
And some of it is real basic. Doesn't get any more basic than this. Sin will find you out.
That's right. You want to stand in front of it?
Well, we could both stand in front of it because, I mean, this is a great old historic look.
I know, and I actually made that for myself, and I made it in reverse and had it at the end of my pool at my house, so the reflection in the water when you were in the pool said sin will find you out. But,
Oh, right.
since then I kind of put it back to the way it was.
Wow, this is just, look at this standing over here,
I know.
looking at this. I mean, this is spectacular.
Yeah, it's my own little magic castle here. you know?
Most people don't ever see this.
No.
This is your workshop. This is
It's my studio, and that's why I was glad when I told you I was the Neon Queen that you came. I mean, I wanted people to see this and share it. It's
boy. There's a lot of energy. There's a hum. There's a buzz in the air.
buzz.
Not just the neon hum and buzz, but you can't help but
Right.
feel good when you're around something like this.
absolutely, I agree. Like I said, I'm a lucky girl.
All right, now there's more because this is
Yes.
the finished product right here. We're now going into another part of your studio and see where all this comes from, where it all starts.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Now I got to admit, this isn't the most exciting. This isn't as exciting as all that neon.
Well, being a designer is pretty exciting. I
Well,
mean,
this is the designer.
This is one of our designers.
Howdy, your name is?
Chris.
Okay, now obviously you're having fun with Huell Rocks. That's
Yeah,
not
right.
really a sign you're going to make. But how does it work? How do you put all this together?
Well, pretty much our clients, they send us their sketches or drawings or whatever artwork they can send us, and then I put it in the computer and I make neon patterns, and then we take it to the router or our plotter right here, and then after this, then we take it to our vendor.
To have it actually
Yeah,
made.
to
But
make
you take the ideas that come in here, and don't they come in all shapes and forms?
Matchbook covers, napkins, and
People have this
yeah.
creative idea.
Yeah, and we have to definitely
They
take
bring it to you. You're the first stop.
Yeah, yeah.
And you go to work making some sense out of it to see if it can actually be
Exactly.
done.
Exactly, yeah. And then, like I said, and then we make neon patterns of it, neon patterns.
And it goes into the next room.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're leaving you here. Your name again is?
Chris, my name is Chris.
Okay, we're going to leave Chris working on that Huell Rocks neon sign.
You do rock.
Gotta like that. I don't know where
know.
I'd put it if I ever
Well,
bought something
well,
like
well,
that.
you know.
Anyway, we're going to leave you in here. We're going to go in the next room and see what happens to it after Chris gets through designing it on the computer. Now we're getting down to it. You can really feel the creative energy in the air here.
And the heat.
And the heat.
And the heat.
What's happening in here?
Well, Brian has been with me for about 30 years on and off. He's done all my most beautiful bending, especially when I do artwork and pieces that are going to be in shows.
So his technical title is Bender.
Neon Bender.
Neon Bender. How are you doing? Introduce yourself to everybody.
Brian Curry, thank you.
Okay, I know nothing. Boy, I don't even know what to ask a neon bender. How do you bend neon?
Well, after Chris makes me a pattern backwards and in reverse, then I lay the glass out as I'm going to show you. And what you do is you heat the glass to the pattern, to whatever shape.
Can you, obviously
Sure.
this is what's heating over here. This is gas?
Yes, gas and air.
And what does that do? It melts the glass?
Melting the glass, yes.
And how do you know how to bend it once it gets warm enough to bend?
Well, by the color and the way that it becomes
Look at this,
elastic.
it's changing
Yeah.
color.
Yeah.
It's becoming like a red
Yes,
color.
absolutely.
Wow. How fragile.
Oh,
Is-
it's pretty fragile, but this is how it starts. So you see everywhere there's a little turn or bend.
He's done
Brian
it.
has to go into the fire and come back.
What are you doing? You're comparing it to the,
It's got to be exact to the pattern.
so it fits the pattern that
Yes,
has already
exactly.
been.
Yes. And he only has a limited amount of time from the fire to get it back onto the paper.
Now, you're good at this. You're a pro. But be
Yeah.
honest, how much breakage is there? Because when you could get all the way down to the end of the slogan and break it, and you have to start all over again.
Well, that's true, but the idea is not to break it. So.
I know, but
That's why 30 years of experience really helps.
see, I'm
paying off
getting
here.
nervous just holding this.
Well, why don't you try it in the fire?
Well, I'm not ready to try that quite yet. You get that down to the exact, look at this, Cameron. You get this, you're marking everything to the exact.
Right.
Goes back in the fire, and he's just that one area up here.
Wow. Look at this. Look how it's turning red. How hot is this?
Oh, God. Well, enough to melt the glass.
About 1,000 degrees.
1,000 degrees.
Yes.
And what is that in your mouth?
I gotta keep the glass uniform. Once you heat the glass, it collapses.
Well, what does that have to do with what's in
Well,
your
I have
mouth?
to blow it back out.
He blows a little air into the tube to keep the same consistency. We don't want it to collapse, or we don't want a big bubble when he bends it. So he's just slightly blowing air through it to keep the chamber the same.
See, this is like watching an artisan at
Oh,
work.
yeah. And this is a rare person. You're not going to find these people. It takes years to learn how to even make one pattern, or, one letter.
It's like a lost art.
It's a lost art. It really, truly is.
How does that make you feel? You're making your livelihood on a lost art.
That's quite unique. I love it. I wouldn't change it.
And you never know what you're going to be working on
No,
from
I
day to
don't.
day.
No. It's fun.
Yeah, so you
Yes.
get big jobs,
It's-
small
yes,
jobs.
absolutely.
You probably see your work in movies.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Did you make the "Sin Will Find You Out" sign for her pool?
Yes, I did.
He knows more than anybody probably about my sins.
Well, that's another whole story right there. Wow, this is fascinating. And your official title is
Tube bender.
Tube Bender. Well, that's it. Our visit to the Knights of Neon here in North Hollywood. And Lisa, what a surprise, because you're located in an industrial park in a very nondescript building, and then you walk in and bam!
Yes, Huell, that's we're a little secret in Hollywood,
Yeah.
but we're part of the big picture in Hollywood with the movies and everything.
Well, you're part of the whole entertainment industry.
Absolutely.
Music videos, movies, TV shows,
Yeah.
pool, neon.
Yes, and I hope people start noticing it a little bit more now that they see one company does a little bit of part in a movie.
Yeah, wow, this is just beautiful. And you know what? It gives you like you said earlier, a real flashback in history too, because we used to have so much, people really used to take pride
Yes.
in the neon signs on their businesses, didn't
Yeah,
they?
well, it's the first thing you see when you walk into a store, and plus you now know how complicated it is.
Yeah.
It's a dying art.
Well, it's not dying yet, thanks to you.
Not yet.
Boy, this has been great. Did you think that we were going to show up?
Well, you know, that day just felt right. I was kind of glowing, and you had a pretty good glow going on too, and it just felt right. And I'm glad you showed up. Thanks.
Well, I got to tell you, anybody who comes up to me in the grocery store and introduces themselves as the Queen of Neon,
deserves it.
that gets my attention.
I
right
thought it
away.
was going to take something like that to get you.
You don't know where we went earlier. We went to a pawn shop and
pawn
had a
shop?
great time there. We've had a great time here. Both of you ladies I met in the grocery store.
Well, you never know what you're going to meet in the
Well,
grocery store.
and you never know what wonderful stories people have got to share. And that's what this
Absolutely.
adventure is all about. Something as simple as two ladies coming up to me in the grocery store, and look what's come out of it. Two wonderful stories for all of us to enjoy.
Absolutely.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome,
We've had a
y'all.
wonderful day. Let's
I've
get
had
out
a
of the way
wonderful
and just take a look at this neon. It's all about pawn shops and neon. It's all about people we met in the grocery store who shared their stories, their passions with us. We've had an absolutely wonderful day.
Visiting with Huell Hauser is made possible through a generous grant from the Ralph M. Parsons Foundation.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and you never know who you're going to meet in the grocery store. And if you enjoyed this adventure inspired by the two ladies I met in the grocery store and would like to see it again or share it with family and friends, it's available on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.